New developments now in a story we've been following for days. Police have arrested 2 men in connection with 2 different murders this week in Holyoke. Western Mass News reporter Lexi Oliver joining us live in studio with more on that. Lexi.
Chris, we told you yesterday Holyoke officials were concerned over an uptick in violence in the city, but Hamden District Attorney Anthony Gallooni says these latest arrests bring the community just one step closer to justice and safety.
My office and the city of Holyoke, and in particular the Holyoke Police Department, are working diligently on the front end to ensure that people are safe here.
Hamden District Attorney Anthony Gallooni speaking Thursday to address public safety concerns in the city of Holyoke following the city's 5th murder of the year. That murder happening at the intersection of I-391 and High Street, where our Western Mass News crews captured a heavy police presence Wednesday night. On Friday, the Hamden District Attorney's office announcing an arrest made in that case. Officers tell Western Mass News shortly before 5:30 they found 40-year-old Kevin Ventilette suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to Bay State where he later died. Thursday, they were granted an arrest warrant for 35-year-old Angel Velez of Springfield, who was taken into custody later that day. Police making a second arrest earlier this week in connection to another murder on Saturday night. Officers responding to Nonotuck Street in Holyoke found 25-year-old Alex Larkin of Chicopee suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to Bay State where he died from his injuries. On Wednesday, Holyoke and Mass State Police obtained an arrest warrant for 23-year-old Victor Diaz Torres. Thursday morning, they found and arrested him. These latest arrests mean that all 5 murders in the city this year have resulted in arrests.
So I commend the Holyoke Police Department and its detectives. I commend the Massachusetts State Police who are attached to my office, and members of my office who team up when these incidents happen to work together collaboratively to make sure that justice is brought for the city of Holyoke, but also for a victim who's lost his or her life and for that victim's family.
Diaz Torres was arraigned yesterday on a murder charge in Holyoke District Court, and he's being held without the right to bail. His next scheduled court date is October 12th. Meantime, Velez was arraigned today in Holyoke District Court on a charge of murder and is also being held without bail. Both investigations remain ongoing. Reporting live in studio for Western Mass News 11 at 11, I'm Lexi Oliver.